Hey, what is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you all about something that may potentially be possible for patch 6.0. Now, I'm going to say this up front that this is a combination of rumors and wishful thinking on my part, but I want to lay out my logic as to why I still think that this might be possible, that we might get a fifth member to the Dark Hunters team next patch, and why, if that is the case, that we've not also heard about it yet. So I think some of you can allude to who that is, but we'll get to that. There are some pretty good reasons behind some of this, and I just want to discuss those, including the latest hints that may or may not be foreshadowing. Or maybe they're all just taking us for a ride. But I want to talk about them nonetheless, so without further ado, let's get this show on the road. And so, I want to start things off here. Now, you guys may have remembered this from like 2 months ago. This was like the middle of January when we got this silhouette for this current patch. Now, this patch has been going on for almost 2 months. We had this at the start of February. And we're currently in the middle of March, and I think that this patch will be going until the end of March, until the start of April, more or less, end of March, early April. So this has been a very long patch with only 4 characters. Now, what's a bit strange this time around is that we have not had this yet for next patch. However, we've had 3 characters. I was going to say 3 out of 4, but 3 characters so far revealed for next patch. Now, it's not necessarily the case that it's going to be a 4-character patch. More than likely it will be, but it's not to say that it couldn't do something different, because we're getting a lot of new things that have never happened before. Namely, the Scourge event, which is a brand new event. Now, you could just equate that to a regular legendary event in terms of kind of legendary character patches. But at the same time, you know, we're kind of in new territory here with Marvel Strike Force. So I do want to say that the fact that we've not had a silhouette yet suggests to me that the character, either the 4th character or characters, if there's 5, that have yet to be revealed, is important. And that leads me to believe that, well, A, either they don't want to get the cat out of the bag too early, or B, there's a reason, there's another reason behind this. And maybe that's because we are actually getting another Dark Hunters member, which is then going to be used for the Scourge event. But maybe they don't want us to know that or think about that, because as it sits now, they're a 4-person team. Now, who am I alluding to? Well, I think that's pretty obvious, but it's going to be Blade, I think, because this has been the one that's been teased the most. There's been many instances, especially over the last couple of weeks, where this has been teased, and more specifically, it's been there's been a hint as well in the most recent blog post. So Blade is also a member of, and damn all these ads on the Marvel Wiki, but Blade has also been an affiliate with the Midnight Suns, and we know that the Dark Hunters team is by and large Midnight Suns. Let's be real, it's Ghost Rider, Elsa Bloodstone, Morbius, and Dr. Voodoo, who all make up characters from the Midnight Suns team. Now, why was it not called the Midnight Suns? Why is it called Dark Hunters? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I thought this maybe was a licensing reason, and the fact that actually one of the games out there already is actually named... There is a game actually called Midnight Suns, S-O-N-S, not Midnight Suns, S-U-N-S, which is another game that was delayed that will be coming sometime soon. Whole reason about that, about why there's a different name behind that. But Blade, I think, is a character that by and large a lot of people want to see come to the game. And so the question is, well, is he? Could he be? And the answer is maybe. You know, obviously I don't have a definitive answer for you, but I kind of want to give you my logical reasoning as to some of the things that I've picked up on lately and why they maybe are delaying the silhouette. Now, one answer could just be as they forgot, which is the easy answer, because when it comes to Marvel Strike Force and Scopely Boundless, that they have a good habit of doing things like this, but maybe there's an intentional reason behind it. And to get us started, I want to bring us back, obviously, to the Pestilence event, because this is where, right now, we're looking at things like, well, the Web Warriors and the Dark Hunters, and you know, the fact that the Dark Hunters are currently a 4-person team, and they're wanting us to build it for this event. And it's weird, because I think it's the only instance, you know, aside from, say, X Factor Jubilee, which is required for Adam Warlock, where you were kind of made to use a 4-person team. And I think in this instance is a little bit different than Adam Warlock's case, because I actually heard that Jubilee was not meant to be the main person there. There actually did mean to be a 5th X Factor character. They just didn't get around to it for whatever reason because of the timing. And this event is significantly different than your typical legendary event, you know, mythic, legendary or otherwise, you know, because of the way that it is. And so when we know that for difficulty 6 and above, not 5 and above, 6 and above, you are required to use Web Warriors and Dark Hunters, it seems to me like they, you know, a lot of people have been saying, well, you know, what characters are you going to be using with the Dark Hunters, because they're currently a 4-man team, and a lot of people are like, well, we're just going to use Dark Hunters and Ghost Spider, right? And that makes it does make sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense, because it would start a precedence then that they would require you to use teams or sets of characters that were not a full team of 5. And so if that is the case, and it remains to be the case in patch 6.0, then that means that going forward as well with other Scourge events, that this could happen again. And so my question is this actually going to be what takes place, or are they holding out on us, thinking that you know, we're not gonna see a 5th character of the Dark Hunters, and then lo and behold, the last character they reveal could be Blade? So yeah, who knows? I mean, I think that there's a pretty good chance, because that Dark Hunters, well, I mean, Frank, they're an okay team, but I feel like they could be so much better, especially for this Pestilence event, you know, for scoring and otherwise, to use on those specific notes that you need them, if they were a full 5-man team. And if they had Blade, that I would totally just like full bore go on Dark Hunters rather than Web Warriors for this event. And honestly, I think that as a 4-man, they're already pretty good, but a 5th would make it significantly better. So that's just kind of my hope there. Now, other things that we've seen, well, this is Morbius. Morbius's description from the blog post like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think towards the middle of February, when they announced this part. And there was some kind of like some hints here. They talk about the description of Morbius, this hybrid, you know, blah 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 blah. Morbius's hunger has caused him to tangle with some of the city's mightiest heroes, including Spider-Man and the Thing, but Morbius has also assisted heroes like Blade, Elsa Bloodstone, and Ghost Rider. 2 of 3 of which we happen to have in the game already, and all of these are Midnight Suns characters, which, let's be honest, like I said before, Blade should be part of that. So, that's just one there. Another one that I have here, and this is more recently, of course, is that this was from the Facebook post, and whoever runs the Marvel Strike Force Facebook social media account is a bit of a genius, because you know that they just do this, not just because of the fact that there's a Blade post here, a Blade GIF, I guess you could say, but they do this quite frequently with hints here and there. But at the same time, they've also made like veiled hints and jabs at like Gambit and Rogue. So I don't know if you could take this for gospel, but you know, this was a couple of days ago, or whenever Morbius was put into the Red Stars on that day, and they posted this here. Now, more recently, we had the Wong, the big blog post with Strange 2 and Evil Strange and Wong here. And in the description, they talk about, it's not specifically Blade, but said, alongside Doctor Strange, Wong has faced off against Dormammu and Dracula and many of the universe's most dangerous mystic threats. Now, Dracula does have some relevance to Blade as well, so it's not a direct call out to Blade here. But again, I kind of picked up on this a little bit when I read the blog post, and I was like, huh, is this a veiled hint at Blade? I know this one here might be stretching it a little bit, but I feel like based on what we've seen so far with teams, it's just, there's not a lot of precedence. I know we're in brand new territory here when it comes to 4-man teams required for legendary events, at least for these brand new Scourge events. Is it that we do get Blade? Sorry, my apologies, guys, I was holding in a cough. And so, as far as the patch goes for the Darkhold Pestilence patch, which is coming pretty soon, I mean, what we know, obviously, so far is that, you know, we know that we're going to be getting Morgan Le Fay, and we know that we're going to be getting, I'm going to call him Evil Strange, Strange 2, and then we're getting Wong. And, you know, it's not to say this couldn't be a 5-person patch. We're still missing, you know, fifth Darkhold member, you know, here, and could it be Blade? Or could Blade be here, and then we're actually going to be delaying that sort of final member of the Darkhold for patch 6.1, if it's going to be a 4-person patch. And the reason why I say this is there's precedence actually for arena teams to be pushed for 2 full patches. Now, normally there's 4 new characters, not 3 new characters. That in this case we're getting, or actually, sorry, we are getting 4 new characters. Sorry, we are getting 4 new characters, with Scarlet Witch being the rework, and there is precedence for this. So if we go all the way back, this is going back pretty far, all the way back to Black Order, right? We had Thanos already, and then we had these characters, Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, Cull Obsidian, and Ebony Maw. And this was stretched over 2 patches. I know I don't have them separated where they should be, but they were 2 patches. I'm pretty sure Proxima and Corvus were 1 patch, and then Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw were on another patch, and then that allowed for the creation of the Black Order. So there is precedence of splitting this up over 2 patches, and the only real 4-person team that we've had since that is incomplete, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, it's X Factor. X Factor are the only ones, and they are also a war offense team. So when it came to these other characters that have come, the unfinished teams, you know, we have Secret Avengers and we have New Warriors. I was trying to I forgot where they were. They're down here. They are 3-person teams, though, and they are raid teams. So Dark Hunters is not a raid team. They are a war team. Now, yeah, I know you have that X Factor scenario there, and I really don't want them to be an X Factor scenario. The difference is the usage for Dark Hunters now have changed comparably to X Factor, and so now we're looking at possibly this new Scourge event, which is only 2 new characters currently, but frankly, I could see them adding a 3rd, because really, they're already using 2 older characters. So a lot of the instances, you know, it's just, it feels like there needs to be 4 new characters. X Factor was 4 new characters. There were no older characters that were put onto that team. So, you know, fingers crossed here, everyone. Like, I think that there is a possibility that either Blade comes... Oh, sorry, I was going to shift them around. Either Blade is here, which is after Wong, and this will be announced next, but I think there's a reason why they want to hold back on that. It's because they don't want people to know that he's coming, because then they might put more resources into Dark Hunters. And then you might be saying, well, then wouldn't that just boost their money that they'd be making currently off of Morbius and the whole team right now? And maybe, but then if we knew that, for example, Blade was a really powerful character, what if he's a pay to unlock character before the Scourge event? Like, maybe he's coming, but he won't be free to play accessible from his event until after the Scourge event, and if you want to use him in the Scourge event to get ahead, that you might have to pay for him to do that. So that's also a hypothetical situation that I think that they would do, because not only would that be really good for players who are building Dark Hunters, but not in terms of it being paid and that you'd have to pay to unlock him, but the fact that I think the Scopely and Boundless would make a lot of money off of that for people who want to add that 5th member of the team just before the Scourge event for Pestilence and Morgan Le Fay. So those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know if you think I'm crazy in the comments down below, because that's possible too. Maybe I'm stretching this a little bit far, but I think that there is a chance that this could happen. I kind of hope that it will. If not, I think it would be a very long time before we would see Blade come, you know, further into the game. Some people have suggested they want a Blade Legendary for a very long time, but we're not going to be getting any more additional Legendary characters for the rest of 2022, because a lot of them are going to be a Horseman, and I don't think Blade is going to be a Horseman, because we already have a Mystic character, unless they make Blade a Bio character, but the whole Dark Hunters team is Mystic, so that suggests to me that they're going to continue this trend with more Mystic characters for the Dark Hunters, or for Blade in this instance, if that's what happens. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Blade. Do you think there's a chance of him coming? Do you think they might be mean, like I suggested, that they might make him pay to play available for the Scourge event, or not? Yeah, you know, some crazy stuff ahead. I'm kind of a little bit excited for patch 6.0, but I have some more thoughts on that as well as we go forward in terms of, you know, the state, well, Marvel Strike Force, the things that have been going on lately, and I'll get more of my thoughts on that as we go through the weekend and the rest of next week. So thanks everyone. Until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Have a great weekend, and Boilon signing out.